It's always super hype when someone enters the house. But my house is a mess right now.
That's okay.
I know. I do am ashamed a little bit.
This is Brother G, fellow wizard. We're just in here getting some Ormus. He's working on some things.
Half a liter of monoatomic gold. Maybe
Let's
it's even more.
go. I would say G is probably one of my favorite technicians of the life force energy.
Film the one up there.
This is dipped in magic mix.
So, for everyone that would know, like using a violet ray one to bubble orgone, if you know about the Mike Henry stuff and the bubbles that was introduced to me by dear brother Golden, I found that the most fun way to bubble an harmonizer is to do it with a dipped harmonizer. I can't for sure explain to you like with science wise, but feeling wise, I feel like the when the orgone when the violet ray one energy has to travel through the orgone to reach an harmonizer while bubbling, it's doing more than when I just put my regular harmonizer on there. And don't get me wrong, I do both, but I noticed that I really enjoy traveling through an harmonizer, through the orgone dipped in, to an harmonizer dipped in orgone. So that's a 432 fully dipped.
So sick.
Tight coil.
Y'all never seen that before, have you?
It's not that many out there.
Working on a 8-gauge double twist. Was it 528?
This is a full size sacred.
This is a wild piece. This is probably what, 2 years old?
3 years old.
3 years old. I remember when G and I were first connecting, I was off to Costa Rica, and I just whipped this up for him. You know, like it was just a little gift.
Right now, my water jug is empty because I'm gonna gift this one in Montreal when I go to Montreal. But right now, the water jug is empty, and for your people who watch this stuff and like the whole like like get the water going, this is how you make a cheap water setup. Instead of costing $300, if you buy this for $30 and you buy this for $30 on Amazon, you can get the same thing. It's empty because I'm about to go on a trip and I don't leave water in my water jug when I leave. But usually you will have my water spinning out there. Yeah, that's the dual ankh pendant. I thought that as ankh represent male and female, it was cool to have like a very more feminine ankh behind and a lot more masculine ankh. So it's like, then you have the black and white duality, all that good stuff.
This one's fire. Okay, well, now that we're here, I'll ask you a quick question. Well, how would you describe tensor technology if you were describing it to somebody that is curious and is in resonance with it, but obviously we can't see the energy fields? You know, how would you describe it to someone?
Well, first, there's two different type of people I would describe the technology to. So someone who is completely dissociated from those fields being a real thing, I would bring it up more like scientifically, where the technology affect magnetism, and everything around us is magnetic, including our beings that are the human magnetic field is a scientific word for what an aura is. So by using the technology to affect your field, you affect what is esoterically called as an aura. This is what I would do to break, or I like to say break people, who break someone who's more practical, more interested in science behind it. Um, the best way is to do the freeze test where you put a ring on top of water, because the way I like to phrase it is water will show you what your eyes can't see. This is one way to talk about technology. Now, if I had to go more in depth with technology with someone who's already inclined with technology or spiritual concept of nothing being real, is that the technology is actually not doing anything. Don't get me wrong, I love these things, but I don't give them power. Like, I'm aware that me being a creator of this technology is simply a manifestation of the state of consciousness I embody. This is the manifestation that free energy is coming back into your experience. And if you buy them, put them into your life, or are a maker of them, it means that you are ready to bring free energy as a whole in your reality. It is simply a question of experience of time before we end up seeing free energy for the masses, because this technology is now here for us. And the technology is the first manifestation of free energy. But don't get me wrong, people who see those in their reality will see light bulb turn on with no wire at some point in their experience.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
My pleasure. Trust me. Yeah, that's another.
Yeah, this one. I remember giving this one to you. The raw moo. This is a raw moo. Quarter raw moo. Yeah, G-Man is actually the one that got me on the I Am discourses, which I think is, for me, biblical in my ascension journey.
Well, I think the I Am discourses is the true teaching of Christ. Like, if Jesus was around now, and you get it from the guy who looks like Jesus, Jesus would be pretty mad at Christian, because there's nothing Christ-like about being Christian. I think that all three main religion. So if we go in this balance of duality and polarity, in spirituality, you have the three religion they call the three sister, which would be Taoism, the Hindu spectrum of God and their understanding of the world, and Native American mythology. That's the three sister that to me are the three religion that if you tell me you're part of those religion, you are truly understanding what's going on around you. But then on their darker counterpart of duality, to balance, because we live in a universe of duality and balance, you have Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And how do you know that those three are the three deception? Is they all worship the cube. And the way you know this is Jews in the morning wear their tefillin, which they wear a black cube on their head. The Muslim worship the black cube of the Mecca, where they all want to go touch and want to build a city around the black cube. And you're going to ask me, where is the cube? Is Christianity. Well, a cross is an unfolded cube. And when you make those math, you understand with the eyes of someone who has acquired the esoteric knowledge to see that they're all the same religion, and they're all a religion of of deception, they all take the power that is inside you and ask you to worship something that is outside of yourself. Like we all know that in the teaching of the Bible, Jesus was very adverse that you weren't supposed to go to church. But if you tell that to the Rome, and you would ask the Pope, of course the Pope will tell you that you should be going to church because that's where you would go to God. All these religion, what they're doing is try to be a middleman in between you and God, but by doing so is removing you from the connection you might have from it because you are it. Easy.
Okay, now that I have you here, what's the message of, like, what do you feel is an important thing to share with somebody on a day-to-day basis? Like, what is the root of life? Like, what do you think the most important thing humans should be speaking about? What is something that you would like to share with people listening that you feel is important?
I'll say something that I feel might not be ready for integration for everyone, but that's probably my role to poke you in different ways, that this is not real. Um, in my experience, I came to a point where, with my meditative experience, meditation has felt more real than this world. And if we can all reach that state, it will be a lot easier to reorganize the reality we're experiencing by knowing that it's not real. Because by making it real and abiding to the conceived perception we have of the experience, we are bound in the way that we can, how fast can we turn it around and make it something pleasant. But if we all can have this understanding that the quantum realm access through meditation is more real than this piece of wood is, then it will be a lot easier to rearrange it. But to be able to reach this understanding, the practice of meditation and detachment from the physical world is really at step one. So I don't think everyone's ready to talk about this, but everyone should be ready to start meditation.
I know you have some experience with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work.
Oh yeah.
Brother
he changed
Gene.
my life.
Okay, yeah. So can you share about Dr. Joe, because on the Moona's channel, Dr. Joe showed up a few times and he never seems to leave us.
No.
So how would you?
He won't.
How would you describe his teachings and how they affected you?
I'll introduce a little bit how I came about Dr. Joe, because I feel that's in the way. So it's important to understand with me that from 15 to 25, I was suffering from on and off, like, really bad depression, and I was suicidal for a lot of periods at those times. And in around 26, one day I decided I was going to become happy. It did not started now, but that was the beginning of really, like, my breaking through journey. I don't want to say the beginning of the spiritual journey, because, like, depression is part of the spiritual journey, but really making this commitment to myself that I was going to become happy. And I take two action that really put me in a new reality to become happy. And it's that I started to stretch every day, and I stopped watching pornography. And these were the two commitments I made to myself to project myself in new reality. Stopping pornography turned into the practice of seminal retention to acquire more life force energy. And the practice of stretching transformed into Qigong, yoga, and really a deeper connection with the body. And in the 6-month journey of transformation that began when I implemented those two things in my life, I started to read book. And about 6 months in of this commitment that I never let go, which the commitment brought me to a higher frequency reality for myself, I remember entering a bookstore to seek the next book I was going to read. And this is when Becoming Supernatural was on a shelf. And I remember picking it up and not really understanding why I was holding to this book like that. But I remember not being able to let go of it in the bookstore. And I was just, I don't know why, but I have to read this book. At this point in my life, I already started to study quantum physics, and I was driving 18-wheeler when I discovered quantum physics, and I was in a truck stop listening my first explanation of what quantum physics was, and I started bawling like a kid who just found his mom. Like to me, learning about quantum physics was like one of the biggest revelation there was. And then I pick up this guy's book, and as soon as I get into it, I understand that it's fully tying our experience and how to manipulate our experience with its quantum counterpart, like its quantum balance or reflection. And this is how I got into Dr. Joe's teaching. And now, after reading the book, yes, it affected my life, but it didn't stop there, because at this point you have 27, 28 years of conditioning that need to be reversed back, that I'm still working on tuning and being this new person that I'm becoming every day, right? And Dr. Joe, what I understood and what I will tell everyone who wants to change here is that you don't need to be smart. All you have to do is repetition. If you listen to content and you're like, wow, I wish that I could think like this, all you have to do is listen to this every day. And I promise you that when you're at the point that you will be able to repeat the 2 hour video on how you wish you would think, when you can repeat it, it will become your default train of thought. You don't have to be smart. All you need is repetition. And when that happens, then you'll see, when the change has happened inside you, you'll see the effect happening, because you're gonna go to think something and it's gonna highlight in your head that this is the wrong way to think. And when that starts naturally happening, well, you're free.
Beautiful.
Yeah, all stuff I'm working on.
Any last words you would like to share with the
Internet. Well, I wish you can find this something useful in what I said, and I hope that the positive impact I long time ago wished for my life can now reach you, and it can have a positive impact of your life, and that I'll be able to see this positive impact manifest in the world.
Thank you, brother.
My pleasure.
Yeah, this is Brother G. Happy to be sharing his beautiful being with the community as we are on the rise together. You're planning to go to Arizona soon, right?
At some point. I don't know when, but Arizona is my final destination. Right now, we're in my house, which is a fucking mess. If you look around, like, don't judge me.
No, we're
I'm about to depart on a trip, and it's just fucking messy. But yeah, I don't know if you'll film the outside, but you're in a special looking van, and the end goal for this is to end up going in the desert, because I once went in the desert and I was there for a very brief period of time, just passing through, and I had a feeling that this is where I must end up going.
G's got the best tech. I want all of his creations around me.
Yeah.
Let's get this Ormus out, eh?
Yeah.
Can
sure.
we keep camera on?
Sure.
So, what exactly is your understanding of this that we're pulling out?
So I'm a maker of the technology, but I'm also a maker, and I've got teach by my good friend Golden Sun, shout out boy, to how to produce monoatomic gold, and I can introduce the world on what is monoatomic gold. So, you know, when you watch an Egyptian movie, there's always a hot chick coming out of a milk bath. Well, you got teach that it was milk, but it is actually not milk. It's actually monoatomic gold. And I know that at some point on my experience on Earth, I will re-enter an age where we can bait in that stuff. Because right now, if you purchase some Armus, you can intake it orally, and I would suggest to take small dosage orally, but the best way to intake it is to mix it in your favorite skin product and put it on your skin, because Armus should be intake dermally more than orally. Armus is done by aggressively and rapidly changing the pH in a water solution that contains mineral, and what will happen is that you will break the molecular structure of those mineral, and they will now be spread into monoatomic particle. Monoatomic, if we like scientifically it's not the word, but take this word apart, means single atom. Now imagine that a single atom is like a smallest Lego block you can take. In your being, you're constructed of a bunch of molecular structure arranged in with that are also arranged in atom, and those molecular structure are arranged in sacred geometry pattern, and those atoms are arranged in sacred geometry pattern in those molecules. Because we experience a form of imperfect state of our body, we're all in healing process in this stage on Earth, we have small deficiency in the sacred geometry that is in our bodies. And what happened is when you intake this product or bathe in it or apply it on your skin, those single atom will, through the power of a mind that organizes everything in reality, as we know there is a mind that organizes everywhere, that's the mind that winks at you when you see 222 on your watch. If you believe in that mind that organizes everything, which is true, the single atom will find their way where you're deficient. And because there is not that many type of different atom you can have, there's a lot of different molecules in the world, but there's a lot less different atom. Those atoms can basically form the molecule that they need to form to re-enter perfection. So what you have here is undefined matter. It is matter that doesn't know what is going to become. And what will divert it to become what it needs to be is the mind that just organizes everything. So all you have to do is basically be around that stuff on your skin or intake it, and it will go where it needs to go. This is monoatomic gold, also known as Ormus or mana by Kabbalistic tradition. So I feel that the word mana is pretty strong. We all come from a world where we played video game, and we know that mana is that source of magic. So like this, I believe, is part of also the fact that this is re-entering the world right now is like a proof that we're going back to a golden age, because we used to have like bat of that stuff. And if you I can just imagine what the feeling would be to be in a fully fasted state and enter a pool of this stuff and just feel all that perfection re-entering your molecular, like all the deficiency in your atomic structure. like the more perfect your atomic thruster must be, I'm sure that energy then flow through your body much easier. So this is Ormus monoatomic gold. Go get some.
Yeah, can we acquire some from you? Do you have it available?
I do have some available. I have a very quiet Etsy shop that maybe my friend can
Absolutely.
expose. You'll find I'm I do make Tensor Technology. Most of my pieces are available there. But it is important to understand that I am a very slow process maker. I make stuff very slowly. I list it very slowly. If anyone listening to this is familiar with human design, I'm a projector. I'm not like my friend Moona's here who has like tons of energy. I just watch him go sometime and I'm wondering like how is that possible? I'm someone who naps a lot because that's what I need to be, as that's what my being is. But yeah, I'm very grateful if I just get any form of exposure. The main reason I wanted to be on Etsy is so people can look at my creation, because all my pieces, I try to make them very unique and special. Like you will never find anything similar or looking like what I do on the internet. Like there's this one where I can showcase.
Yes, please.
This one that I'm very proud of. Like
Yeah, explain it.
um I don't know. It's me and Munas were having this discussion earlier where I believe the technology is not more potent on like a physical aspect, but like in this case on like beauty. The more beautiful a piece is, the most powerful she will be. So this is what I do. All my pieces, I spend a lot of time like designing them, overthinking them. I follow my own guide of information I channel that I should do, like the same braid of twisted copper I make. I never heard that anywhere. I just decided that that's what I wanted to do.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, well, it's just quantumly makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the intention infused into a braid of copper should be the whole. But at the same time, I'm telling you that, and it's not around. But I have one that I like this one. This one I'm making for a friend that's going into New Zealand right now, and you can see that this braid is different than this one, but it's because you had this one that was just one, and the four on the side were made of a looser twist. But all once again, that is intentional. Like it's experimenting with all different design, and in this experimentation there is lots of intention of seeking the new experience of beauty in a way. And I believe that the powers of these tools is in the beauty. Like I remember the first time I seen an harmonizer, and I didn't understand why, but I was already a point in my experience where I follow my intuition enough to not question the why.
Where was it?
It was probably on your Instagram,
okay.
I would think. But I remember seeing it and not understanding why I'm attracted to it, but there is power in not questioning why. When you are at home and you see something and for some reason it pulls you, you should never rationalize why is there a pull. You should go towards, and this is the practice of following our highest excitement. And this is from the teaching of Bashar or Abraham Hicks, a very good way to navigate the quantum universe, because rationality is often what will prevent you to have very pleasant experience in the world. Where if I started questioning why I was attracted to copper so much, maybe I would not have make it my new creative outlet in life. And since I quit the racing world, which used to be how I would express my creativity, I am now expressing my creativity through the manufacturing of free energy device, and now this is my reality, where I am in a reality where free energy is already here. So I am not questioning in the future if my light bulb will turn out with a wire or not, because I know they won't. And by therefore, I'm already there. I'm just waiting and watching myself get there. Yeah, this is a fat one. I love the fat one.
This is a 8 gauge double twist. Let me guess the qubit. That right there is a 432. Yeah. 15.31 inches.
I don't know why, but I really like the 432 for water. Me, it's something.
Same.
Yeah,
I just chose that for the water kit.
that,
Yeah.
and it's funny
Well,
how.
makes sense.
Well, it's funny how we are, how by becoming good at not questioning, we become better at simply following intuition. And then at this moment, you just witness me and Moona's uh, having this confirmation that our intuition is right. Because when two people are detached or asking why and have the same intuition result, well, you have your answer. Like if you both have the same intuition result, it is right. So it's funny because you just witnessed this. Like I just had the confirmation that I was always right about it.
Okay, let's get back to the Ormus, and then I'm gonna ask you a few more questions because this is becoming a full interview and a full.
That was not planned, by the way. We just whipped it out, and I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, this I just asked G. First, I asked permission because I know that the camera is, it's a certain energy, and but now that the Moona's YouTube is growing, I want to share.
All I'm asking is don't judge the mess in my house. Hopefully, I'll be able to film.
I can cut that part.
Yeah. Try to cut as much as the messy house, because I would love that one day it's filmed in a.
Yeah, this is gonna have hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah,
in a couple of years at least. Okay, all right, we're gonna get some Ormus going. I'm just gonna set up the camera here, and then we're gonna get back to the interview. Let's pull the Ormus out.
You want?
We have we can just bottle it later, yeah.
Yeah, it's just bottling.
Okay. Yeah, I got some before and I drank it already. Okay, let's keep going. What on earth is your understanding of this?
Of organite?
Yeah.
So.
And why is it gonna become like popular in households and?
Well, okay. So why is it gonna become? Why organite and tensor technology are becoming popular in a nearby future? It's because we already hit rock bottom. So there's a concept in Hinduism where you have the ages, and you go from the golden age to the silver age to the copper age to the iron age, and then you do your walk back to the golden age. And we already hit rock bottom. That's the good news. We're on our way up to the golden age again. And as we go up, the golden age sits in a higher dimensional plane. And how do you move from a lower dimension, like the third dimension, to the fourth or fifth dimension? It's by incorporating more aspect or more planes of existence to your reality. Example, I myself and my friend Moona's, by being around the technology all the time, we become extremely sensible to magnetism. I see magnetism, I feel magnetism. If magnetism is now a sense that I have, that I can perceive, it means that there is another layer in my experience to and my experience with the outside world, which is dimensional. So by adding you add a dimension. When you go to 4 or 5th level dimensional, the third level still exists. It's just perceived differently. And those technology interact with those medium without the need to be powered, which means free energy, what I was explaining earlier. If this is going to be really good for the people online because I love the way I explained this. What is the difference in between Orgonite and Tensor Technology that both operate in a realm that affect magnetism, aka etheric energy? Um, Orgonite is a filter for energy, which I don't know if you know by now, but Orgonite is the combination of organic and non-organic material. Organic material being the resin, just like your body. Organic material attract energy, and non-organic material like crystal or metal have the power to reorganize them. So this is like a filter. The resin attracts the energy, the metal and crystal transmute it or filter it to a more positive form than the form that enter. So this is how this works. What's the difference between this that also does the same thing is this does not simply filter energy. Tensor technology also inputs a frequency into it. This is like a filter, this is like a radio emitter. So this just makes everything around it better, where Tensor will like infuse even more change into the purification of its energy. So let's say we talk about medicine application. Argon is something that you just simply should have around you generally to filter your personal electromagnetic field. If your electromagnetic field is cleaner, your body will just behave in more healthy way. But if you then put tensor around it, tensor is like more proactively going to have an effect, as it's really pulsing and infusing a frequency into the magnetic field it's interacting with. What I would say regarding what I'm just teaching you is that the first step is to get Orgonite in your life. I feel like most people, that's the route that it goes, because Tensor would be higher on the vibrational scale of the level of technology it is. So you get Orgonite first, you get used to what it's like to have like clean filter energy around you, and once you're used to that, you bring rings or harmonizer in your life, and then there will hit even they will not hit but transform your physical reality even easier, because you don't have to go through the reorganizing process. The reorganizing process and filtering process is done by first having the argon energy, and then this will pulse a frequency in your life that will even be more transformative, because this filters energy but doesn't produce its own frequency, where this does. And harmonizer or tensor technology is the true manifestation of free energy device re-entering our physical experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that I resonate with what G's saying, in the sense that, like, this right here it's the beginning of the golden age. It's where we remember that the unseen energy is actually what is permeating all of life. The way that I like to describe it is that life force, that intelligent energy within the plane or the field of the ring, is that presence that is around us at all times. And yeah, based on the length of measurement that we cut these rings to, that is the frequency. For instance, this one we cut to 15.31 inches, which was called the 999 qubit or the New Earth qubit, and that will have a frequency of 432, or the sacred 20.63 inches, basically saying this is and has the 144 megahertz. So the different length before we put it into the shape, whether it's the ring or the coil or the harmonizer is projecting out that bubble field or the toroidal field. This as well is creating a column or a pillar or a beam of that life force. So what G's saying is basically, total resonance. And let's continue.
And the best way I like to talk about the technology, I introduce it to everyone, regardless of where they're at, if they're ready to hear about it or not, is that this technology is not discovered, but rediscovered.
Nice.
Like, every old civilization that you believe was more advanced than us right now knew about the energy that this is interacting with.
Check out this picture right here, family. We're gonna edit it in. This is the British Museum. Oh, on the top of the screen. Right here, the British Museum. You can see gold rings that are clearly tensor, and that's what G's talking about. Is Slim rediscovered this? He was open to channeling, and he was an open vessel to spirit. When you are open to spirit, the miracles that happen through you is beyond, and that's why just surrender now. Just like be rid of the separate self now, and allow that intelligence which we are to channel the spirit. And this was rediscovered.
Yes, to tie into what I was expressing earlier about like the importance of meditation and that everything here not being real, is that I only know, as G, I only know what I know. But when through the act of meditation I can disconnect from the physical world and understand that none of it is real, even the perception of being G is an illusion, and I accept that I am not that, I become a channel, because I can tap into a frequency where I'm not myself, and by therefore I can know everything that I don't know. Because I only know what I know, but if I'm not me, I can know everything that this non-being knows, and this is how you understand all of that stuff. Like, I'm pretty smooth at it, so you might not see it, but everything I'm spewing out here is like stuff that like just fucking went through. I don't make scientific researches to know that stuff, but I can tell you one thing is that nothing I'm talking about is a belief, it's a knowing. Like, I'm beyond belief.
Exactly. And that is a level of consciousness where I was talking about in another video of transcending synchronicity, but basically what G's saying is that the heart center, like the heart knows. Like when I was at school studying holistic health, going through Reiki, herbology, aromatherapy, shiatsu, the whole plethora, Sister Sky gifted me a ring, and I knew that was it. Like when I was gifted a ring from, and the way she gave it to me too, it was like she knew what was about to go down, in the sense of, and she showed me Slim, and yeah, when I found out, like, I just knew in my heart, because I was connected to, I was doing a lot of, well, not doing, but like just into non-duality teachings, and I felt what was right in my heart. And that's what guided us to being creators of this technology.
Here now.
Yeah, and that's what real science is. Science is like experimenting for yourself, and also having people feedback to you, like, hey, I just put this ring on my head and it got rid of my headache. That is science right there.
100%. I think a sickness of the world is people who can't see that the scientific community has been turned into a cult. And if they say something, people believe it, just like the priests at church. Or if they say that something is not, it's not. Since I embarked on this journey of being a creator of technology in the past 3 years, I had an interaction with a couples of doctor that ended up finding me on the street where I was sitting around stuff I make, and we just started talking. We talked for multiple hours, and those PhD 65 years old doctor were extremely mad at the Western system because in their experience they made discovery, they presented those discovery to the establishment, and what they got told was if they keep speaking about this, their medical science would be revoked. So what did they do as being conditioned and being in fear of losing their word? They didn't stay true to themselves, and they stopped those researches because they were being told that their whole life would go to shit if they did. But when we had the interaction, and I'm basically talking exactly what I'm saying to you on camera now with these doctor, and we had exchange, they never thought I was crazy. They actually thought I was making a lot of sense, and the interaction finished by the gentleman saying, I believe that you are the future of medicine. And in that moment, I knew and remembered how quick things will change when the world will be ready. And I believe or know that the world is still in a stage of becoming ready. But we are approaching this what expression would you use in English, like this trem not trembling, it's like a this line of no return, like we're about to cross it in the next few years. This will become a knowing. That's how you fix stuff. One thing I say is we got conditioned like what changing the world would be hard. It doesn't have to. This is a conditioning that was put into you to prevent you to have an easygoing life. Is that to make it easy it would be hard. It's not. You can have a thing like that, and this is free energy. Free energy is not hard to create. It is here. All you have to do is let it in. We are conditioned to push it out, and this is where we're having issues.
Exactly. The effortlessness of life, like we've been programmed that we should work hard and like work like a 9 to 5. Like that's slavery, brother and sister. Like, if you feel that, like, you are allowed to quit your job, you are allowed to free yourself based on I freed myself. I 3 years ago or however long it was, I knew the moment hit, and I did enough inner work where I was like, man, I gotta allow my outer life to reflect what I'm feeling inside. How am I gonna go about doing this? Well, you get the jolt, you make the calls, you quit the job, you leave the relationship, you say no to one thing, and by simply saying no to something in your life, you could open up an infinite amount of doors and align yourself with your highest potential. And obviously that's a constant ongoing process, but yeah, that's what we both did. And like, G's living in a van, I'm about to get a van, I'm about to hit the road, and I'm going to continue sharing because I have this gift of this camera and YouTube and the support of the community. But my vision here is that we display what free energy and what real freedom and what the beginning of New Earth is. And this technology, I am telling you for a fact, with 100% knowing, both of us, that this is the remembrance of this field, this quantum energy that is all around us. And that, as Nikola Tesla said, within a square inch or something of the of the ether, you could power the United States. All of this technology has been suppressed. We've been totally programmed. We've been totally lied to about history. So feel in your heart what is right, and what you can do is you can take the next foot forward in truth. And the truth is that you are the self, that you are the supreme being right now. You are the I am. You are already free. You are already divine without having to think one thought.
What you have to do is suppress what believe it's not. This is exactly, this is what's standing between you and the divinity that you are, is what you think that is not.
We have low battery. This is the time.
Yeah,
We're gonna do interview number 2, number 3, whatever. But I'm really grateful that I can share my dear brother here, because honestly, I don't talk to that many people consistently, and I've noticed that this man has consistently been showing up in my in my reality, and based on knowing where I'm at with my being, it's like I'm in resonance. So um yeah, let's get this Ormus poured up. I'm going to hit the road probably and continue on my journey. But thank you for tuning in if you lasted this long. And I'm going to leave G-Man's description, the Etsy shop, and
Instagram and all that good
Instagram,
stuff.
all whatever, if you want to connect with him more and you're curious about this being right here, then we'll tap you in. All right, family, one love, and we'll see you soon.
I know also is like when we have like rain thing happening and stuff, I'm gonna be the guy pulling everyone out of the hole.
Okay, so what G did here was he got this. Do you want to just quickly describe what's going on here?
Yeah, I can. So what happened is I don't know where you are in the world, but here in Canada, like living situation has become very complicated to not be a slave and have an apartment. And when I used to have like a really weird apartment, I would rent an industrial building and live inside them. I never had a like normal one. And when I lost my last place, which I lost 2 places in 9 months, it was like really hard. And I got this opportunity to not really leave my community, but live in a van. So I bought this ice cream truck. That if we walk around, we can say that this is still a full Olsen Grumman. That was a delivery truck or an ice cream truck or whatever. Like you can all see that this was a food truck type of truck, right? And it was already ready to live in when I got it, and I did, cosmetic modification inside, like the paint and the countertops and few arrangement, but nothing good because I wanted to go and move straight into some living arrangement, and I lived in it for a year. But then, because I know eventually I'm gonna go live in the desert, I needed something that had a minimum of off-road capacity. But instead of changing van, I made math, and I come from a background of building custom cars, so I know what was possible and not possible. And what I decided to go with is, instead of moving, because I really like the size of my home for a full-time living in a van, I just took my ice cream truck and I slapped it on the back of an old British military vehicle. And now I'm living in what I call my militarized ice cream vehicle. It's pretty crazy, but I love it.
Yep, I would say it's one of the coolest creations I've ever seen yet.
I'm pretty proud.
So I'm proud that this is gonna be on the YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I eventually plan to be making more content about my crazy life, and I hope it can come shortly. But I'm sure on even the Moona's channel, you'll hear more and see more about myself.
Oh, bro, this is my brother right here, G. Okay, so we're gonna leave you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. Thank you for tuning in, family. Thank you for supporting New Earth. And Any last words?
Get some ormus, it's good for you.
We're gonna get some more.